All right. Do you want to talk about movies? So, because we have quite a few movies on this list.
Movies.
It's funny because
Yeah.
a week after my Oscar pilgrimage began, I didn't watch any movies this week. Didn't have time. Too busy.
Oh, baby.
So I'm.
Speaking of Oscar movies, I've booked a ticket tomorrow to see Arrival,
Oh, okay.
which is on the Odeon cinema near me. I think they're showing all the kind of Oscar movies because I had Manchester by the Sea on as well,
Yeah.
and they're just doing like a few screenings. So yeah,
I was
looking
gonna
forward
ask,
to seeing
yeah,
that.
I was gonna ask how you got that ticket because it's out of the cinema here.
Well, yeah, I just googled it to see when it was out on Blu-ray, and a little cinema listing popped up. So I thought, hello, one ticket, please.
Very
Thank you
nice.
very much.
Yeah.
Non-smoking, thank you.
I think you'll enjoy it.
And,
I think you'll really
yeah.
enjoy it.
Looking forward to that.
So we'll have an Arrival review next
Oui,
week.
oui.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Tell us about what you watched this week.
I watched several shit movies this week. Actually, the first I watched. When did I watch this? Last Sunday, maybe. I watched a Slender Man documentary.
Oh yeah.
It's about two kids, two little girls that were obsessed with Slender Man and all the kind of mythology, and they ended up killing one of their classmates to please the Slender Man. And the
Yes.
documentary kind of follows both the kids, their families, and as well as the whole kind of meme of Slender Man. So it was quite interesting. It wasn't a brilliant documentary, and it was quite padded out a bit as well. But worth watching. It's kind of interesting insight into very much a modern day kind of mythology. Kind of reminds me of when kids used to watch what's it called, Child's Play back in the 80s, and the whole video nasties thing, and it was like these kids are killing because they've seen horror movies, and well, really, it's because they've got they're sociopaths or psychopaths.
Yeah, they
And
have
they
they have
watch,
issues.
They may get access to kind of scary material, but it's where do you kind of draw the line between Slender Man telling them to do it, and they would have done something like that anyway.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, that's, I want to get around to watching that. Interesting subject. There is there? Maybe I'm getting this confused with the documentary. Is there a Slender Man like feature film coming out at some stage this year, or did I make that up? Like a studio piece.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if
I'm
it's
gonna
this
Google
year
this.
or
I'll look that.
I'm on the
see.
Slender Man wiki page, but I can't see any
Well, I have here,
adaptation.
Slender Man meme to become horror movie. This is from May 2016 in The Guardian. There's also a more recent story from Variety from just last month, which says Slender Man movie finds director in Sylvan White.
What's he done? Has he done anything notable?
White directed, wait for this one, dance drama Stomp the Yard in 2007.
Oh,
He also made a 2010 film The Losers. which
okay. I don't know what any of these
can
things are.
barely remember.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a wrestling gimmick of Slender Man, like on the Indies or something. We need to get a really tall, skinny lad, stick a white stocking over his head, and have him stand in the back of the audience.
Baron Corbin.
That'd be terrifying. Yeah, he wouldn't. It'd be scarier without the mask. To be honest.
It's. I mean, I just don't imagine this will ever be a good film in any capacity. It's like a lot of horror. I think it's just a cool concept that will never translate properly. And when you consider so much of like the craze around Slender Man up until this point has been via weird YouTube series and stuff like that have also not been very good. It's just a cool thing to read about every now and then, and but who knows? There's been some good horror movies in the last year, so maybe that one will surprise. But yeah. Any other movies, Joe?
I watched another movie called The Gift, starring Jason Bateman.
Oh, I know this
Fuck, what's
one.
his name?
Yeah.
Joel Edgerton, that's the name,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And Rebecca Hall. It was Edgerton's directorial debut. The cast is obviously quite good, so that's what attracted me to watch it on Netflix. A bit boring, to be honest. It's kind of a thriller. Edgerton plays a kind of weird stalker character. Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall are a married couple that move into a new town. It's all right. It's not ever really kind of scary. You're never on the edge of your seat. There's not much of a mystery to it. Would not recommend.
That's funny. That one was critically quite well received.
Well, yeah, I was surprised to kind of find that afterwards.
That it wasn't that good.
Yeah. I was sort of like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, acting was decent enough, but wouldn't want to rewatch that. I also watched The Manchurian Candidate, not one of the originals, but the most recent one with Denzel, Meryl,
Yeah.
Leave, and who else was in it? What's his name? Angelina Jolie's dad. Can't remember his name.
John Voight.
John Voight. Yeah.
John Jolie.
John Jolie.
John Jolie.
That was okay, but it's supposed to be kind of a thriller, a mystery. I'm sure everyone kind of knows what it's about, but it's a politician who was an ex-soldier who was brainwashed, and now he's going to kill the president or something. They don't know, but there wasn't much mystery to it. You kind of knew whose side everyone was on and what their perspectives were pretty early on. So it was just a case of it kind of Denzel's character trying to prove what was going on. So I was kind of into it. The performances are good. It was all right. Not brilliant. Probably avoid that.
I think
that's all the new films
I think
I
I saw
watched,
that movie just before I kind of really got my taste in movies down. But like I essentially saw that back right when I thought Godzilla was brilliant in like 1998.
Yeah.
The Manchurian Candidate came out in 2004. I think I saw that in the cinema. So I probably gave it like a 10 or something. Because it was, I was of that age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can barely even remember it, honestly. I know, Meryl Streep and Denzel are. I had no idea Liv Schreiber was in it or John Voight, so.
Yeah. Not great.
Probably won't give it a rewatch.
I also rewatched Moneyball.
Joe's gone. Let me just.
We'll never know what he thought of Moneyball.
Let me just check something while he's.
Hello, I'm back.
You're back. I think I actually owned the Manchurian Candidate on DVD. Let me just check.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I also watched Moneyball, which is good. Good film, baseball. Didn't really understand any of the baseball in it, even though I've seen it 3 times.
And tell us about Moneyball.
I like the Brad Pitt Jonah Hill relationship. That's really good, and I like it. It's a good sports story. I just wish I understood how baseball worked because I don't really know what getting on first base sort of does for you. I don't know if you get a run or something for that, but
it's like if you watch Rocky but you only know what MMA is.
Yeah, why aren't they kicking each other? What's going on? Yeah, I should probably look up the rules to baseball if I watch it again, but probably not because
I really like Moneyball. I really, really like it.
Yeah, it's great. Very, very good.
A little update. I do in fact own the Manchurian Candidate on Blu-ray. No memory behind that.
Do you think you've had your memory wiped by some kind of government organisation?
I might have. I think that's probably one that I picked up like in a charity shop with 9 others for £1 or something. Because I have no memory of buying it. And I've definitely not watched it since I saw it in 2004. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Did a spy plant in my movie collection? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all my movies.
Barry?
Yeah, I watched some movies. I downloaded some stuff using Netflix's new downloading feature, which was pretty handy. Is
that a thing?
Yeah. They have a available. They have a separate kind of list for like here, basically a filter for, it's divided into all your categories, but here's the stuff that's just available for download. So all their original stuff that they own the rights to is all on there. So your Stranger Things, your Amanda Knox, your so on and so forth. And then a mixed bag of, other companies' stuff is on there. So I downloaded Amanda Knox and The Interview, the Seth Rogen, James What's-His-Face, Franco. I downloaded two of them. So Amanda Knox, I watched on the way up to Dublin. Really, really, really fantastic. I really loved it, and kind of like the OJ thing. This is something that I knew the general details of, but not much more specific on it. And I thought it was pretty good. It felt like at times they were breezing past certain things they could have elaborated on. I don't know if this could have been a fully fledged Making a Murderer 10-episode thing, but it certainly felt like it had more than 90 minutes worth of content in there, because they spend so long building up to the first verdict, and then they spend a little bit of time building up to the appeal, and then they skip entirely past the second conviction. They just put a bit of text on screen saying they were reconvicted. Like they just blow past that. But with all that said, I can still respect what they did, though, because it did a great job of recapping the events of the case, while also kind of looking at the press coverage and the state of sort of policing and crime investigation in Italy and all this other stuff, and the portrayal of her as an attractive woman in this story. It was all very, very fascinating. And it was almost frustrating, was almost the word I wanted to use, because you wanted to feel bad for her, but you weren't exactly convinced of her guilt either, you weren't exactly convinced of her innocence, rather. It was a very tough story to digest, and regardless of whether she was or wasn't guilty, the circumstances surrounding her conviction were very, very odd and not proper. I know a lot of people were annoyed at the Daily Mail journalist who was on there, but I actually thought he was pretty. I thought he was pretty damn interesting. I thought he was at least being frank and honest about what people want and why they give it to them. I mean, as much as people might object to that, I mean, I think there's always a bit of voyeurism, and that's why people were watching this documentary, because they wanted to comb through the nitty gritty details of this person's trials and tribulations.
That's true. I wouldn't be interested if she wasn't hot. So
although I would have. He seemed like they had like pretty much one of the most important journalists in the whole thing, so that was good. Although I would have maybe liked more writers to be weighing in, because the documentary is very slanted towards the media coverage. So I was like, some other voices would have been good, but he was pretty great. So yeah, very, very good. That's on Netflix. Check that out if you haven't. I'm kind of late to the party on that one, so I'm sure everyone else has seen it. And then on the way home, I watched The Interview, which is the Seth Rogen, James Franco, Evan Goldberg produced comedy about two television journalists who get to interview Kim Jong-un, and they are tasked by the CIA with assassinating him, since they will be alone with him in a room. And this is the one that got a lot of buzz when it first came out, because North Korea was very upset about it and blah blah blah. And honestly, if they did not get that buzz and that controversy around the time this came out, I don't think anyone would have given it a second glance, because it is the most uninspired, most boring, most uninteresting Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen project maybe ever. A bunch of shitty celebrity cameos that literally amount to, oh, look at this celebrity we know doing something silly, fucking Mikey self-indulgent shite. James Franco obviously just coked up being annoying James Franco for 90 minutes. And then of course the final act of the film is this like a hilariously self-awarely over the top finale with violence and insanity and just it's annoying. There's a couple of laughs, and I like the premise. I think that's kind of that's something, but no, it's just terrible. I hope that isn't this generation's South Park, the movie with Saddam Hussein and all that stuff. Because I feel like if this is the best we can do in terms of satirizing like North Korea, then that's a shame. Yeah, this is a total bummer because I like Rogan and Franco in most of their films actually, but this was really really weak. Also, lots of really bad CG as well. Pretty much every scene that's like set in outdoors in North Korea looks dreadful. Supporting cast is pretty poor. Yeah, very bad. I did not enjoy that at all. So that was a bummer. Other than that,
I love the interview.
What?
I think when he goes, my butthole was working in overdrive, or whatever he says. I laughed for about 15 straight minutes.
Oh, that's a shame.
There were tears coming from my eyes. I was like, sorry. So I know it's maybe an acquired taste, but yeah, the interview I thought was great, and then I bought it on Blu-ray because I liked it so much. And then I watched it again.
Latin taste.
I like how James Franco in the interview, I maybe said this when I watched it at the time, but he gives the kind of performance that after watching it the first time, I couldn't tell if it was like one of the worst performances I've ever seen or one of the best. He's he very much he's right.
Worst.
No, it's not. I think he's great. I think he's really good at it in that he's so fucking weird and he's so strange. When I saw your,
I'm kind of a...
Go, Joe.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm kind of in the middle. So I like some of it and then dislike other bits. So.
When I saw Barry's Letterboxd review, I did that James Franco reaction. You know the from the movie.
You know what? It's like, but from the second he comes out, it's like his portrayal of like a late night TV show host. It's so over the top and so much gurning that.
But that's what I like about it.
But it's like a 90 minutes SNL skit sending up a late night talk show.
No, I think it's even more over the top than that. Like SNL would have a little bit more blandness to it. He's just like balls out mad.
See, and maybe because there's been a lot of them that do this. Maybe this is just a tipping point, and I won't like them anymore. Or maybe it's just I didn't. Did
you see the one the Christmas one they did recently? Now, in fairness, it's not Rogan and Franco. It's Rogan, Gordon Levitt, and Falcon from the Avengers. Do you see that one the night before?
No.
That one is a little bit more dull, in fairness. So I think if you're looking for a boring one, that's the one to kind of go to. Now, it's not bad. I liked it, but it's definitely not as I don't even know the word. It's a lot more safe.
And all the celebrity cameos just wound me up because maybe it's because. I mean, it feels more justified in this one because they're like late night TV shows, but it's just the fact that they do this in like every film.
Well, the This Is the End was very much just these are our friends. Look at all of them. There's Rihanna in our movie. There's whoever.
Yeah. So
very sad to hear you didn't like it, but I'm about to when we move to Game Guff, I'm about to give a bad review to something that a lot of people like as well. So.
Ooh,
get ready for that one.
Well, I'm done with movie Guff, so.
Okay, we talk about games. I finished 2 games this week. I finished Limbo, completed it, and I also finished a game. I don't know if you guys heard of. It's called A Normal Lost Phone.
Nope.
Which is a game you play on your phone. So I'm sure it's available on Android and iOS. Really, really enjoyed one of them. Didn't really enjoy the other one. So, to let people in on the secret here, Limbo, as I talked about when I last week, I was maybe halfway through it, maybe a little bit more. I finished it. It just didn't do it for me. Now, I again, it's finished now. I can see why people give it the praise that it got. Because it's got really clever puzzles. That's one of the strengths of the game is the puzzle design, I think. Really clever puzzles. I like towards the end of the game the like anti-gravity. Like those puzzles I thought were a lot more interesting than the early ones where it was literally just, drag a box, push a box. But that being said, one thing you said to me last week, Barry, I thought was very much true, is that the game doesn't really build to a climax at the end. Like, you have the spider in the first half, and then the second half is just a series of puzzles, and then the game's over. And there's no real climax to it. It doesn't, like, build and build and build to a big thing at the end. It just kind of ends.
It has the industrial kind of theme later on, and it's like, that's not as interesting.
I think the last hour or so, I played in like 3 sittings. Because I would sit down and play it for like 15, 20 minutes, do like a chapter or two, and then say, I don't want to play this anymore. I want to do something else. And I think that's the problem with the game. There's not a thing that I can point out and say, that was not good. Like I said, some of the earlier puzzles are a little... First of all, some of the puzzles are just nonsensical. They're too convoluted for you to be able to work out without looking up, or at least for me, without looking up a guide. Some of them are just like, what am I supposed to do? Chase the animal into the cog? It's mad. And then some of them are a little too straightforward. So the variety of puzzles is all over the spectrum. I guess the fact that there's no sound as well. Well, there is sound, but there's very little in the way of score or music. Kind of made it a little. I understand why they did it, because that's the tone of the game, but it's a little bit more boring as a result for me. I didn't like the way the character controlled. It was a little too floaty for me. I like my platformers, although you could argue this isn't really a platformer; it's more of a puzzle game. I like my platformers to be a little bit more precise in how they control. I didn't like it was very floaty. And then there was also points in the game where I felt like certain puzzles penalized me, even though I knew how to do it. It was like, so, it was just... I think I talked last week about the one where you're on the ball, where you're wrapped in the cocoon. That I would... The game should let me pass a certain stage, but it wouldn't. It would just kill me every time. And sometimes I felt frustrated, where it's like, I know how to do this puzzle and I'm doing it, but the game's mechanics are what's causing me to not be able to do it. And that's a little frustrating. So Limbo, yeah. I'd probably give it 5 or 6 out of 10 from me. It's not one I play again. And I must say as well, I'm a little less excited now to play Inside. Because the reason I played Limbo was because I was like, I can't play Inside without playing Limbo first. And actually, Limbo has kind of spoiled now my excitement for Inside, to the point where my original idea was to play Limbo and then go straight to Inside. But I've actually decided to take a step away and leave Inside for a lot later, so I can kind of come back to it fresh. And hopefully enjoy it a bit more as a result. A normal Lost Phone, on the other hand, is, like I said, an iOS or Android game. What the game is about is that you find a phone which has been abandoned by its owner, and when you open the game, you're essentially looking at the phone's menu, and you see like messages, you see various apps installed, and it's kind of like a mystery game. It's what I would describe it as is like Gone Home without the walking, condensed into like a phone simulator.
Okay.
And it's super, super interesting. It's fun because you have to like open... certain things are locked off to you at the beginning. For example, there's an app which you need a password to get into. So your kind of objective is to work out yourself through interpreting the messages in the phone. Maybe what's the password I need to use here, etc., etc. How do I get into the email? Should I respond to this email? There's a draft here. Should I respond to it? What does that lead to, etc., etc. So yeah, I beat it in about an hour. It's only like €2 or €3, so it's super cheap. I would say well worth a purchase. I beat it like in about an hour, so it's not a very long game. You could beat it in an hour. I would also say if you are similar to Gone Home, it's not exactly the same story as Gone Home. It's a little similar. So if you are socially conservative, which is to say, if you think that there shouldn't be the gays and stuff, probably not the game for you. But I thought it was a very interesting little. Definitely worth the purchase. €2, €3 for sure. I liked it a lot. Yeah, really good. And
what's that called again?
It's called a normal Lost Phone.
Okay.
And finally, I finally started The Witcher 3. So,
Ooh.
like I say, my original plan was to beat Limbo and then beat Inside, maybe then beat Resident Evil. Because I wanted to beat all these shorter games before I started The Witcher 3, because I know what a commitment it's going to be to play. It's going to be like easily 150 hours of gameplay, probably. But after playing Limbo, I was just in the mood to, okay, let me just play The Witcher. I was in that mood to play it. So I'm only about, I would say, 45 minutes into it. Like, I've barely really scratched the surface. I got out of the tutorial. I'm just doing the kind of first quest. Looks amazing. I haven't really got to grips yet with the mechanics of the game, like the combat. I've fought a few animals, but I haven't yet kind of got used to it. I haven't yet got used to the menu system, but I guess in the next hour I'll totally be used to it. So, the big, of course, huge open world. The story, even though it's the third game in the series, we watched a little 5-minute IGN, catch-up video. And after playing the game for a little bit less than an hour, I don't feel like I don't understand the story. Like, I'm totally caught up already to what's going on.
Yeah, I was the same.
I was kind of worried going into Witcher 3 that I'd be kind of lost and references would be happening that I wouldn't understand. And like, what are they talking about? Who's that? But the game, even outside of the 5-minute video I watched, the game is super good at kind of setting up, okay, this is who you are, this is what's happening. Go do your thing now. Really good tutorial as well. I felt like I needed to do the tutorial because my fear with The Witcher going in was that I would be too much in like a Skyrim mindset to adapt to like a different game of that kind of similar style. So I felt like I should go through the tutorial to kind of retrain my brain a little bit. And it's good because it does give you the option to skip the tutorial completely rather than forcing you to do it like some games do, like, Uncharted or Zelda. Have you do not overtly a tutorial, but the first level is often kind of a tutorial, more or less. So this one just pretty much asks you, hey, do you want to do this or do you want to skip it? And you through the character interaction, you can just choose, hey, I know this, don't make me do a tutorial right now. So like I say, I'm still very early into it, no more than 45 minutes. I do have the feeling, though, not like when I played Skyrim. When I played Fallout 4, for example, it very much, even though I loved Fallout 4, it very much felt like I was playing Fallout 3 again. And when I played Skyrim, it felt very much like I was playing Oblivion again. This game gives me that same feeling I had where I played Oblivion for the first time. I can't quite put my finger on why that is, but that kind of same excitement and that same, like, oh, what's possible in this game? What's this game going to be? So I think I'm playing it right at the right time. So this will also probably be my last game guff for like the next 3 months, because every time it's just going to be The Witcher 3. It's all I'm going to play for the next 3 months. I'll check in like 30 hours and give you some better impressions on it. But I'm really liking it so far. It looks great. The world looks great. I can't wait to explore a little bit. I was looking at the world map, and the way the settlements are laid out looks super interesting. I'm not entirely used to playing it yet, so I still have to get to grips with the combat and the menus and stuff like that.
I really wanted to. I got about 10 hours into that game, and I love the world they created, and it's so dense with stuff to do, and it's great. But I just couldn't get to grips with the combat, and even after all those hours, I never got used to navigating all those menus, and it's so deep with systems like lighting your sword with oils and gathering resources to make those oils, and it's just like I just never quite got to grips with all that stuff, and I kind of bounced off it. But I still have it. I've never traded it in. I always feel like I'll go back to it at some stage. And although it's been so long now that I'm at that state where like I'll probably restart it should I ever decide to go back to it. It's I have it here for safekeeping if I ever get fired. So
well, I got it on the PSN January sale, so I got the Game of the Year edition for €30 or whatever. So I don't have a physical copy of it. It's on my PS4. But like I say, yeah, hopefully I'll get used to it. I don't know. That's why I'm kind of really trying to go in with like a blank slate. Like I'm trying not to go in with any assumptions based on the Skyrim or the Oblivions of the past. I'm because that was my big worry going into Witcher, is that I'd be too used to these other games that I wouldn't be able to adapt to The Witcher. So I'm really trying to kind of forget everything and let the game teach me everything. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very, very impressed by the opening 45 minutes of the game, of a 150-hour game. Very good so far. So that's all I've been playing this week, and that's all I'm going to be playing for, half of the year.
Yeah, I'm a few hours into Resident Evil 7. Currently, it's good.
You
It's a
enjoy
good
it?
ass game. Yeah, scary and all this other stuff, and it's really reined back. It is a very streamlined kind of survival horror experience. You know, you're scrabbling around for your ammo, and and it's really great. So I'm enjoying that. I don't think I've played anything else new.